Hello and welcome to Dateline Lagos on Channels Television. I'm Ayotunde Balogun. Coming up on the program, Lagos holds third real estate market conference. State government launches MSME's franchise framework initiative, and State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu celebrates 2022 Christmas Carol. Efforts towards curbing fraudulent acts in the real estate sector is our lead story on today's program. The Lagos State Government has given its word to safeguard investments of people from the potential risks emerging in the real estate market. The State Deputy Governor made this comment at the third Lagos Real Estate Market Conference organized by the Lagos State Real Estate Regulatory Authority. Take a look.
The Deputy Governor of Lagos State, Kadri Hamzat, arrives at the venue of the third Lagos Real Estate Market Conference and Exhibition in Victoria Island. Special Advisor on Housing, Toke Benson Awoyinka, who's championing the conversation on regulating the real estate sector in the state, leads him into the auditorium. The real estate industry is one of the fastest growing in Lagos State. Even with this level of success, it comes with its own challenges. One of the major issues is the recurring news of property fraud, a situation the state government hopes to address through the conference. And one major step is to ensure that practitioners in the business are registered with LASRERA.
I must mention that as at today, we have a total of 1,584 enrollees on the LASRERA registration portal. Of these, we have a measly 203 fully registered applicants from inception till now. This number shows that the fully registered ones with permits to practice and do real estate business is just a fraction of what it is supposed to be. Although this figure may not be commensurate with the total number of practitioners we have here in Lagos State, but it shows that LASRERA is ready and is on a path of correcting anomalies in this sector. I hereby appeal to this large audience that who are yet to complete their application processes to do so. One major potential risk involving the real estate market is identifying the real estate stakeholders in this market. And in doing this, there must be a watcher to effectively monitor activities of operations towards the development of the sector. As an integral part of the real estate environment, government's regulations must address the ethical standards of potential risk in terms of losses for the protection of citizenry's investment. As professional stakeholders in the real estate sector, I believe that this market must be rebuilt so that investors and investees' confidence can be restored, and to ensure that the state government's vision of making Lagos a 21st century economy conforms with and to international best practices.
Another concern in the industry is the construction aspect and incidents of building collapse. Panelists here believe the value of professionalism has diminished, which must be corrected as soon as possible.
So when we talk about building collapse, it's not actually the building that has collapsed. Yes, in reality, we have buildings that have collapsed, but dreams have collapsed, ambitions have collapsed, projections have collapsed. And to stem this actually starts from the beginning, because my experience, both in the position of a regulator years ago and in the position of Chairman Tribunal of Inquiry, is that we haven't paid attention to what Stephen Covey said in his book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. He said we should put people before things. People before things. So anything we're going to discuss, whether it's about the technology, whether it's about the buildings that are collapsing, should actually start with the value that is placed on the human beings going to make use of those things. And I think we must all agree that over time, our values have dwindled.
So the first thing you need to do is to carry out a soil test to determine whether the bearing capacity of that soil can withstand the number of floors you need to site on it. And the test you will carry out on the mainland is different from the one you will carry out on the island, because Lagos Island has a high water table and with a high, sea level, and it's still rising. But we formed an habit in Lagos. The fact that Mr. A built and I bought my land beside Mr. A. So, of course, it is adjudged that the land is good. Whereas your own patch may be a fossil ground, maybe an abandoned dump site. So the kind of foundation you are going to cite is different from what Mr. A has cited. And in addition to that, a lot of research, they've done a lot, but there has been over 492 collapses in Nigeria, leading to over 1,000 deaths, of which Lagos State has 295. That's approximately 65 or 64%. So we have serious problem in Lagos, and that's why you see all these agencies. We won't make it the business of the day, because lives of people, is so precious. Notwithstanding that Mr. Governor, zero tolerance on building collapse, but we still believe we need to do the right thing. And what leads to this is just simply unprofessionalism and non-credibility.
The Deputy Governor gives assurances that the state government will come up with policies that will protect individuals and investors from potential risks emerging in the real estate market.
The theme of this conference, Lagos State Real Estate Emerging Markets Mitigating Potential Risks, was adopted so that we can beam our searchlight on this sector against the background of new tactics and strategies developed by some of us with the intention of defrauding unsuspecting clients. The emerging trends and practices in this sector in the recent time calls for increased vigilance on the part of all genuine practitioners and government in view of the rate of reported cases of dubious acts by some real estate agents who are taking undue advantage of the market, which has become one of the fastest growing in Nigeria, and of course Lagos State in particular a result of increasing population and real estate development. As a government, we owe it a duty to safeguard the investment of people who may be unaware of some unprofessional practices in the market. The need to restore public confidence in this sector led in the first instance to the establishment of the Lagos State Real Estate Regulatory Agency Authority, that's RERA, in order to protect the citizens and investors from potential risks of the emerging market in our society. The agency has therefore defined minimum operational standards and guidelines for practitioners to abide with. The guidelines provide a comprehensive checklist for the citizens to correctly identify a competitive list of all registered individuals and organizations. This will allow our citizens to avoid doing business with unregistered real estate practitioner in the system. So let me reassure Lagosians that our resolve to commence the monthly rental payment has not been jettisoned, because it's one of the things that we spoke about last year. What we've done is to look at how to make it sustainable, working again with the private sector and other stakeholders, and therefore come up with the appropriate strategy for a policy that we believe will stand the time
of applause. I beg of you.
Going forward, residents are advised to check the Lagos State Real Estate Regulatory Authority portal to verify if a real estate company is registered before going ahead to purchase a property from the company.
The Lagos State government is not relenting in supporting business owners. That's right. Well, this time the state government has launched a micro, small and medium enterprises franchise framework development initiatives to help achieve the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals (SDGs) in the state.
The Lagos State Office of Sustainable Development Goals and Investment has taken another bold step to achieve results with the launch of the Micro, Small, Medium Enterprises Franchise Framework Initiative that will open up new opportunities for MSMEs and provide them with access to needed capital. This initiative has the approval and attention of the federal government, as well as foreign and local partners, which is why they are gathered in Ikeja for the event. Special Advisor on Sustainable Development Goals and Investment in Lagos State says the administration of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu is committed to enhance the rightful role of MSMEs in job creation, stimulation of economic growth, and to kickstart with 300 businesses.
Because what we are trying to catalyze today is the Nigerian version of this. We want Nigerian businesses that are global. The franchising industry is a very quiet achiever. We may not see as many headlines as you see with some of the more exciting sectors, for example, technology, but they make an amazing contribution to the global economy. Most of the biggest businesses in the world are franchises, from hospitality to food to various other sectors. And this sector is estimated to grow at about 30% per year globally. And yet the majority of our businesses here in Nigeria don't seem to be aware or have taken advantage of this option of scaling and growing very, very fast. So as the cradle of commerce in Nigeria, which is Lagos, as we know, we've taken it upon ourselves to facilitate, supporting, creating these kind of structures for businesses to help our MSMEs grow and scale. And for us, not just expand across Lagos, but across the country, across the continent, and expand globally. We're very focused on supporting MSMEs because we know that they're the engine room of growth and the engine room of job creation. And so for us, it's very, very critical.
For the federal government, the franchise development is a laudable initiative that will be backed by law.
The federal government is committed to improving the business environment in the country, as franchising allows not only expansion, but is an endowment too, which can benefit start-up companies and develop Nigeria's small and medium enterprises to bring about growth and sustainable development in the country. The vision of the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment is to promote economic growth, create jobs, generate wealth, and the following pillars have been identified to achieve this. 1. Create an enabling environment for industry, trade and investment in Nigeria. 2. Promote the integration of Nigerian businesses into the regional and global value chain. 3. Implement the Nigerian Industrial Revolution Plan. 4. Proactively attract long-term local and foreign direct investments. And 5. Champion the cause of Nigerian MSMEs as a means of creating jobs and achieving inclusive growth.
Partners supporting the Lagos State government are optimistic that the scheme will help build a thriving and sustainable franchise industry in the country.
The values of U.S. companies aren't just in their branding. American franchises and companies are conduits for carrying the shared principles into the Nigerian marketplace and to the Nigerian workforce. Tens of thousands of Nigerians, many of them the young population that is the growth of this country, have seen the opportunity to work for world-class American franchises and build capacities as they execute their jobs to the standards of these companies. As the global market develops and our two economies become further enmeshed, I look forward to the democratization of the franchise sector to small and medium-sized businesses. Anyone that has lived and worked in Nigeria knows that it is at this level that the principles of hard work and achievement through development are best demonstrated in the country. The private sector, the Nigerian federal government, the Lagos state government, and organizations such as FRANDIS must work in concert to assure that the regulatory, financial, and operating environments enable micro, small, and medium-sized businesses to succeed as they are the lifeblood of the Nigerian economy.
So for some of you who have monies lying in the bank, you don't know what to do with it, and some of you do not really want to start a new business, you can just buy into a sustainable one that is ongoing, and you can just be a franchisee or a distributor, an agent, a partner, wherever, depending on the sector that you are tapping into. The U.S. Department of Commerce The report projected that Nigeria could earn $100 billion annually. I believe it's possible that we can do that. And Lagos being the fifth largest economy in Africa put us at an advantageous position to explore this model. There are successful businesses who are already doing it, but most people don't know is the richest man in Africa is making money through franchising. You may wonder, oh, how? So there's something called product distribution franchising. What that means is I have products, so I tell you, you can add my name, you can become distributors, and you go and sell on my behalf. It's not doing so much. And with that, you can also still get investors to invest in you. For us, the goal of this project is to support development of franchising as a viable model of helping MSMEs scale their businesses, attract investment, expand across the state and internationally, because part of our objectives for those that we're working with is so that they can also sell their products internationally and also export services.
Entrepreneurs and organizations in various sectors have been asked to take advantage of the scheme and get on board by submitting their applications through the Lagos Franchise Pilot Portal.
The season of Christmas is here again, and yes indeed, how time flies. Well, in the spirit of the celebration, the Lagos State Government held its annual Christmas Carol and used the opportunity to call for vigilance during the Yuletide period. The State Governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, who was at the 16th edition of the State Christmas Carol at Lagos House Alausa Ikeja, assures the people of a greater Lagos.
The Lagos House Alausa Ikeja is the venue for the 2022 Christmas Carol, organized by the Office of the First Lady and the Ministry of Home Affairs to celebrate the end of the year. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, the Chief of Staff, religious leaders, white-cap chiefs, senior government officials, as well as family and friends of Lagos State staff came well prepared to give thanks to God. From the praise session to Christmas hymns. The State Commissioner for Home Affairs says the 2022 Christmas Carol of 9 lessons is an opportunity to appreciate God for seeing the state and the people through the year. He asks everyone to be safety conscious during the Yuletide.
The theme of this year's Christmas Carol of 9 lessons is Stone of Grace, as stated in Proverbs chapter 17, verse 8. Tell us that a gift is like a precious stone in the eyes of the holder. We are all products and recipients of God's grace. This season teaches us to extend our hands of generosity and brotherliness towards mankind. We are required to spread love not only during Yuletide but throughout the whole year, and therefore I enjoin us all to emulate the virtues of Jesus Christ as demonstrated in his humility and service to humanity.
Wife of the State Governor, Dr. Ibijoken Sanwo-Olu, takes the 8th Bible reading. She also calls on residents to pick up their permanent voters card and participate in the 2023 general election.
As we know, this is a political season. Therefore, I appeal to all to please collect their PVCs, permanent voters card, and be ready to fully participate in the forthcoming general elections. It is important that we all make it a point of patriotic duty to be part of the electoral process. As we celebrate, may we all be filled with joy, happiness, and blessings of Christmas. Lagos State and Nigeria will continue to experience remarkable growth, peace, and outstanding development in the matchless name of Jesus. Merry Christmas and a prosperous 2023. God bless you all.
Then Adeyinka Alaseyori entertains the people with her gospel performance. Governor Sanwo-Olu takes the 9th Bible reading and seeks more support from the people of Lagos State.
In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things were made through him, and without him nothing was made that was made. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. And the light shines in darkness, and the darkness did not comprehend it. There was a man sent from God, whose name was John. This man came for a witness, to bear witness of the light, that all through him might believe. He was not that light, but was sent to bear witness of that light. That was the true light, which gives light to every man coming into the world. He was in the world, and the world was made through him. And the world did not know him. He came to his own, and in his own did not receive him. But as many as received him, to them he gave the right to become children of God, to those who believe in his name, who were born not of blood, nor of the will of the flesh, nor of the will of man, but of God. And the last verse, and the Word became flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld his glory, the glory as of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. This is the night reading for tonight. Let me very, very, very warmly acknowledge every living soul that has been part of this glorious service this evening. I cannot begin to mention each and every one of you, but indeed, you are glorious, you are important, and you are marvelous in the sight of the Almighty. And I want to say that indeed, it's been a wonderful time for us. It's been a glorious time for us. It's been a wonderful journey. And we believe that with you, walking with us, the journey of a greater Lagos is just rising.
The 16th edition of the Lagos State Christmas Carol was rounded off with a song presentation by the CAC Women Choir leader, Deborah Fashoyin.
That's a wrap on this week's edition of the program, Dateline Lagos. As always, thank you so much for watching. I'm Ayotunde Balagum. Until we come your way again next time, please stay safe. Bye for now.